In the heart of a dense jungle where survival means everything and kindness is rare, a moment unfolded that challenged everything we thought we knew about wild instincts. A moment where an ancient rivalry paused, where a hunter considered mercy, and where life itself hung in the balance. Our story begins with a chimp. He had always been cautious. Every rustle in the leaves, every scent in the wind meant potential danger. But most of all, it was the leopards that he feared. They were predators. Silent, swift, and unforgiving. They ruled the night with an iron paw, their presence a constant threat in the symphony of the jungle. This particular leopard had once attacked his troop. The memory of that day was carved deep into the chimp's instincts. So, when one crisp morning he found himself alone near the river's edge, and he saw a flash of spotted fur in the distance, his heart pounded against his ribs like a drum of impending doom. But as he watched, a strange realization dawned on him. It was the leopard. It was limping, wounded, barely able to move. Blood stained its side. It didn't growl, it didn't pounce, it didn't even lift its head. It was broken, vulnerable, and still very much feared. The chimp froze. All logic, all jungle law said to walk away. Let nature take its course. Let the enemy fall. But the chimp did something else. Something he'd never done before, and something no one expected of him. He moved closer. Slowly, cautiously, but he moved closer. Watching, waiting, wondering if the laws of the jungle had finally shifted, or maybe, just maybe, he was about to become the next victim. Yet something deeper guided him. Something primal, yet not aggressive. Curiosity, perhaps, or was it compassion? Because as he drew nearer, he saw not just a wounded animal, but a creature once feared, now reduced to a state of utter helplessness. The sight stirred something within him, a feeling he couldn't quite place, but that pulled him forward like an invisible force. As he got closer, he noticed the leopard was lying beside a large fig tree, its massive roots providing a semblance of shelter. The leopard hadn't climbed the tree. It was too injured. Instead, it had sought refuge at its base. The chimp didn't touch the leopard at first. He just sat nearby, observing, waiting to see if the leopard would attack. But minutes turned into hours, and the leopard remained still, its eyes closed, its breathing shallow. The sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the jungle in hues of orange and purple. And still, the leopard didn't move. The chimp wasn't sure what to do. His mind, honed by years of survival instincts, screamed at him to run, to get away from the potential danger. But his body seemed to have a will of its own. He felt compelled to stay, to watch over this creature that had haunted his dreams, that had threatened his family. But why? He didn't know, and so he stayed. He sat beside the leopard, sharing the dwindling warmth of the day. Both predator and prey united in a strange communion of sorts. As darkness crept into the jungle, the chimp decided he needed to leave. He couldn't stay there all night. It was too risky. But as he prepared to go, he noticed something in the leopard's behavior. A slight twitch of the ear, a subtle shift in posture. Signs of life, signs of struggle. He knew the leopard was alive, but seeing the signs of life, he felt a surge of determination mixed with fear. He wanted to help, but how? What could he do? Then, as if drawn by an invisible force, he turned his gaze to the fig tree. Beneath it lay the leopard, and above it grew the bounty of the jungle. Figs, sweet, juicy figs, a favorite treat for both leopard and chimp. Figs that could offer some sustenance to the wounded beast. The chimp carefully climbed the tree, his nimble hands gripping the bark effortlessly. He reached out, plucking a ripe fig, and as quickly as he came, he descended and approached the leopard. He didn't know if the leopard would accept his offering, but he had to try. He placed the fig near the leopard, keeping a safe distance, and waited. Time seemed to stand still. The only sounds, the chirping of crickets, and the distant roar of a night bird. The leopard didn't move, but the chimp could sense its awareness. The fig remained untouched, and the chimp debated whether he should approach further. But then, just as he was about to make his decision, the leopard made one. It moved, slowly, cautiously, but it moved toward the fig. The chimp watched, his heart pounding, as the leopard sniffed the offering, its nose twitching with each inhalation. Then, to the chimp's surprise, it began to eat. The leopard ate voraciously, its hunger evident, and the chimp, driven by a mix of fear and newfound resolve, climbed the fig tree once more. He plucked another fig and lowered it to the ground. Again, he kept a safe distance, but the leopard didn't hesitate. It ate the second fig as quickly as the first. And soon, encouraged by the leopard's acceptance, the chimp ventured closer. He brought more figs over the next few days. Not once did the leopard growl or show any sign of aggression. It simply accepted the gifts and ate. Each day, the leopard grew stronger. It would rise, shake its weary limbs, and walk a little further. It would stalk, but not to hunt, to find water. Sometimes it lapped from the river, but mostly it drank from the figs, their moisture quenching its thirst. All the while, the chimp watched, waiting, hoping, fearing the moment when the leopard would be strong enough to hunt again, because he knew then the fig tree and the leopard would part ways. Yet that moment seemed to linger, and the leopard stayed longer than the chimp had expected. It continued to drink from the figs, to bathe in the river, and most surprisingly of all, to rest near the chimp. They didn't speak, of course. They had no language in common, but there was an understanding between them, a truce forged in the heart of the jungle. Then one morning, the leopard stood, not strong, but standing. The chimp watched, ready for the chase, for the attack, for the inevitable. But it never came. The leopard took a few tentative steps, then looked back at the fig tree one last time. The chimp held his breath, his gaze locked onto the leopard, unsure of what to expect. Then, with a final flick of its tail, the leopard turned and disappeared into the trees. The chimp didn't follow. He simply sat beneath the fig tree, still, quiet, changed. In the dense, dark jungle, where survival meant dominance and where encounters often ended in bloodshed, this moment rewrote the rules. Mercy triumphed over memory, kindness over instinct. For many, such an act would be hard to comprehend, let alone witness. But in the heart of the jungle, where life and death danced a precarious jig, this story unfolded. A story of a chimp and its enemy, the leopard. No words were spoken, no peace treaty signed, but something passed between them. Something profound, something eternal. As the sun filtered through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the forest floor, the chimp basked in the warmth of a new dawn. The leopard was gone, the threat had receded, and in its place was a profound sense of calm. The jungle whispered its secrets to the wind, secrets of survival, of courage, and of an extraordinary bond forged between two sworn enemies. If this story touched your soul, if it stirred something deep within you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on my channel. Jungle Echoes, Rescue and Mystery, where the wild still whispers the truth of who we really are.